Hello, 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 everybody. We're back again. Another beautiful Monday. Today is different though. It's rain. It's not rainy here. It rained a little bit overnight, but it's rainy. You know how it's just overcast, and I love it when it's like that. By the way, I just do. I don't know what it is. I think it's just that because we live in Southern California, we don't get that much weather. So when we get like that, we're like, it's just a change for us. So I like it. I really do. But anyway, we're back again. Another beautiful Monday. What can I say? What can I say? I'm always happy to be back. I want to thank our live viewers for tuning in, and I'm thanking our replay viewers, those of you that would go to YouTube and like this station or this channel, the Mary D Talk Show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I never take you for granted. You're taking time out of your day to spend time with me. Thank you for that. It really means a lot. I like to, as you know, I was introduce you guys to how to scope the books. Those of you familiar, I'm going to start. Which book am I starting with? You know what? I don't have the one near me, which I usually start with Dr. Henry's, but and Dr. Henry, I don't have your book near me. Oh, yes, I do. It's right here. I always start with Dr. Henry. I have much, as they say, so much respect for Dr. Henry. So maybe that's why I start with her book. This is Dr. Mildred Henry's book. As I often tell people, those of you that say, well, has the time passed for me to write? We're blessed. This is a blessing. This is history. This is history. This is Dr. Henry's life. And I have so much respect for her. She is 89 years young. And this is her book that we were blessed to publish. My husband and I have a publishing company called Front Page Publishing. And this is her book. So we want to share this with you. If you want to know about what's going on in this country, right here is living history. Living history. This is not something that has gone on, but make sure you take the time to get this book, Dr. Mildred Dalton Henry's book, From the Ashes I Rise. Excellent read. Okay, I'm going to share that with you first. Next, this is from another author that we helped get her book published. Her name is Fayette. And this is Fayette Foster, and is Why is Little Faye So Happy? She's actually writing part two, or you don't know if you say part two, but another children's book. But this was her very first one, and it's Why is Little Faye So Happy? So I'm really proud of her and her book. Ta-da. You can get this on Amazon. Everything that I'm holding up, you can get on Amazon. Okay. Another book. This is this was the first book of this author, which I'm really proud of. This is our son, Justin's book. And it is My Cat is a Spy. And this is his first, really, he's written other books, but this is his first published book. Is this one, My Cat is a Spy. It is also available on Amazon. You can pick up his book. Next book we have, available on Amazon also, is Have You Seen a Red Elephant? On Amazon. This book, what I like about this book is the repetition. Every single page says, Have you seen a red elephant? Have you seen a red elephant? And it says, Have you seen a red elephant? Like this one says, Have you seen a red elephant dance around? And the next one is, Have you seen a red elephant be a clown? But it's the rhythm and the rhyme with this book. This is written by me, yours truly. That's one of the children's books I've written. I'll give you the children's books first. Another one is this one called Stuck in the Elevator, children's book. Those of you that have children, this is for ages, I say 2 to 6. Well, stuck in about 2 to 6, something like that. But it really, and this is what it looks like, so you can get an idea too. The pictures and the words. That's what this is, and it's based on, this one is based on a true story. And it says on there, my husband and I were in Brazil. Those of you know Oliver, we were stuck in the elevator in Brazil, so that's how that came about. And there's a rocket in my pocket. This is the very first published book. There's a rocket in my pocket. This one is not in paperback. It's only digital. It was the #1 children's book on Amazon when it came out for 2 consecutive weeks. I was in tears. I couldn't believe it. There's a rocket in my pocket. Now, I'm going to tell you what it sounds like. Those of you familiar with Dr. Seuss' book, which I didn't know. Think about this. He has a book, Dr. Seuss has a book called There's a Wocket in My Pocket. Wocket. I didn't even know this. So when I wrote There's a Rocket in My Pocket, somebody accused me of plagiarism. For those of you not familiar with plagiarism is, they're saying I stole stole it, basically, is what they're saying. I took the information and treated as though it was my own, which wasn't true. But the fact that they even thought I did, I got worried. So I looked it up. I just went back, and then that's when I found out there was no other book. Was no other book out there. There's a rocket in my pocket. Didn't exist. I haven't found any other books with any of the titles that I've given you so far. That's why I know God is in it, because there's no way that that could happen. And even this another book that I've written. If you can see the one behind me, Saying No Nicely. This is based on my life. I learned how to say no nicely to people, and so I put it in a book. And the other book, and this is more about your homes. If you own a home and you don't have a trust, you might want to consider this. It's called, and this book tells you how you can save your home from probate. I call probate the devil. That's what I call probate. It's the devil. That's what it is. If you ever been through probate, know what probate is. It's the devil. That's all it is. I'm gonna tell you that now. So, now, let me go over this with you, because I have a brand new book coming out. I'm too excited. This is the cover. So you guys are the first ones to see it. I haven't shown anybody else's book. So now the book itself is going to be up on November 18th. I think it's the 18th. For 2 weeks on Friday. Not this week. Hold on. I'll tell you. It'll be up on Amazon. You'll be the first ones to see it up on Amazon whenever in November. I think it's the 18th, the Friday. So this is the book cover. Justin lost a tooth. And it is named, as I mentioned before, all of you guys can see the lights. Justin lost a tooth. I want you guys to make sure you see that. Let me put this in so everybody can see it. It'll be on Amazon in a week. Justin lost a tooth. And it is about a little boy who loses his tooth, and he has everybody in the class looking for it. And I think it's a cute story. Maybe it's just me because I wrote it. I don't know. But I will tell you, I wanted to talk to you today. I know. Let me just say this. Our guest today, I got a text about 40 minutes ago, and his plane was delayed. And not only was it delayed, he was boarding a plane and he wouldn't be able to be on the show. So I do apologize. He apologized. These things do happen. So I just want you to know, I was looking forward to having him too. I can tell you that now. I was ready. I have, this is what you guys don't see. I write questions down. You guys don't see that part of the show, but I have questions in front of me sometimes, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm talking to the individual and I'm just so enthralled. I guess I don't even refer to the questions. But just in case I can't think of anything, I try to make sure I have some questions down for them. Hi, Gwen. How are you? Gwen says, you know what? I can tell you. Justin lost a tooth. It's not based on anything. It's not a true story, by the way. I shouldn't say it. I'm sure maybe it's for a little child. But we'll see. But good to see you. How you doing? So I will tell you on when that comes out. I'll let you know next Monday, so you can be the first one to get it that Friday. So next Monday, the 14th, is when I'll be telling you all about it, and it'll be live that Friday on Amazon. I know. That's the goal. That's the goal. So, but I want to give you a chance today. There's a couple of things I did want to talk about first, but before I do, I wanted to get hi, how you doing, Charles? Good to see you. It's always good to see you. Anytime you guys you comment or say anything, I get excited. Can you tell? I'm happy to see you here. To all of you that are here for today's show, what is it that you would like to hear from me? Is there a topic? Is there something you want to discuss? Because I do have some topics in front of me, but before I go to those, I want to know, is there something that you had a question about that you wanted to hear? Oh, there's Dumas. Hi, Dumas. How you doing, Dumas? Is there anything that you would like to hear from me? This is an open forum. As I mentioned before, our guest speaker, he will be back at another time. We're going to reschedule him because he's in flight right now. And he was just so apologetic over something. As we know with flights, none of us have control over that. But he wanted to make sure I knew that he definitely wanted to be here for today's show. So But if you have any questions for me about, um, it can be about the show, it can be about books, it can be, I said, you tell me. Hi, David. Hi, David. Here you go. Hi, David. Nice to see you. I don't see you, but I know you guys are here. There's no one that makes a difference to me. So thank you for being here today. So any questions you have for me? Is it the one question I get, to be honest with you, more than any other one, is where do I get the ideas for the books? That's the number one question I get, because now I'm on my fifth children's book, I believe it is. Because I know what I didn't hold up. I didn't hold up Peyton for you guys. I forgot. I didn't. I'm gonna do this. It's right here. So give me a second. This is the big one. I forgot about that because Peyton is the newest one, isn't it? Forgot about that. This is so you guys get to see the big poster. There we go. It's going across in front of me. There you go. That's Peyton. That's Peyton the pink one with the yellow tail. Okay. There you go. I forgot to show you that one. I showed you all the other ones. So the one coming, that's the newest. Peyton came out, I think, in August of this year. That's the newest one. So, but that's the questions I get. Of all questions, where do the ideas come from? Let me tell you, I am an inspired writer, meaning that I get inspiration and then I write. Sometimes they come, I don't have, there's no one place. Let me tell you that. There's no one I can say, oh, yeah, I get them from here, I get them from there. Oh, okay, let me see. This is, Dima says, the is it Beacon magazine and Andrea Harris. Have you heard of her? No, I haven't. I don't know of her, but that's okay. I'm sure she's a writer also. Okay, so that's where my ideas come from. I've never received one idea from two ideas from two certain places. Everything can be an idea. Anything can be an idea. And when it's interesting, when they come, usually they come to me as a title first. That's how my ideas come. I'm trying to write a book now. So Peyton has a book in his name. Justin has a book in his name. Bradley is going to get. Those of you know Bradley. We have other grandchildren. The goal is that all of the grandchildren have one book with their name on the title. So far, I'm not quite there yet. Let me just say that. I just keep on plugging along and keep making the different ones. But I haven't written another one in a while. And this is so interesting to me. Because at first I could wake up in the middle of the night and write a book. And now I haven't written one. But then again, I've started writing movie scripts. So I wonder if that's why my focus is not as on my children's books as it was at one time. And I'm working on for those of you that are looking for a journal. It's a journal and calendar combination. I'm working on that. So it's a lot of projects that one kind of leads into the other one. They kind of ebb and flow, I would say. So, but yes, the books, as I said, my answer, and I said I'm answering the ones I hear all the time is, where do they come from? Peyton, the pink whale with the yellow tail, just came to me out of, I can't remember what I was thinking of, but it rhymed. As you can probably see, a lot of my books do rhyme. I do have a couple that don't rhyme. They just a story, and there's no rhyme to it. But most of the books rhyme. Even with which one? The one that's coming out with Justin Lost a Tooth. It's right here. It's rhymes. Justin Lost a Tooth. Yes, it's a rhyming book. This one is a rhyming book, so you will definitely see it. You know what? Because I have that in the plastic cover. It does rhyme. So it just depends on, I say what I'm thinking. But then again, as you know, this book doesn't rhyme. I guarantee you. Saying no nicely, there's no rhyme. This is a book. This is things I have used that have worked for me, and that because remember, when I'm writing, this is about your feelings. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings. That's what this is all about. So that's what um, saying no nicely is all about. No rhyme. Um, Save your home from probate. No rhyme. This is legal. You're getting into. Um, I'm educating you about some things you can do that are low cost that can help protect you. But have you seen a red elephant? There's a rhyme, but you don't have to have books that rhyme. Oh, okay. Hello, Waivani. You voted already? Wow. I'm voting tonight, Waivani. I still have to vote. But thank you. I saw it's sitting on the kitchen table as we speak. But tonight we're gonna vote. Oh, Dumas, bacon. Okay. About women who bring home the bacon. Wow. No, I haven't read that. Thank you, Dumas. No, I'm not familiar with it. But you're very well versed, Dumas, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But is there anyone here who has an idea about? You don't have to write the idea. Just you can put yes or no. You have an idea of writing a book. Because some of you already know we have an anthology coming out, and it has about I think it's like 12 authors in it, 12 to 15 authors, and they have poetry, they have short stories, they have all those things in it. Hi, Richard. Hello, Richard. How are you? I tell you. I would encourage if I don't see any yeses come in there though. So if you write poetry, if you write songs, lyrics of poetry, if you write, as you know, I'm a children's book. I love children's books. I don't know where that came from, but I do love it. Children's books. If you're interested in that, it's definitely it's a field or area. I just pray I never get enough of it because I love it when I see a child take a book that I wrote and watch them absorb it and see them look at the words and read. Especially we have in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is changing. Our neighborhood is really changing. At one time, for like 10 years, there were no small children in our neighborhood. Everybody had grown up. Now we have younger families moving in, and here come the little kids again. So we just have with some neighbors that have one neighbor has a boy and a girl. One neighbor has, I think it's two little boys. And they're little. They're like 3 and 2. And they were looking at the book one day, and I'm doing whether I didn't tell the parents that, but I was watching their reaction to it, how they were just the colors and the one little boy could read, so he was read. It was Red Elephant, as a matter of fact, and then they read and Peyton also, and to watch them read the book and to watch them just get all into it, it's fascinating to me because remember those are my words they're reading. And the books become personal. They really do become a part of you. I don't care what anybody says. They can say they don't if they want to, but they do. They become your babies. The books are your babies. So you want to give birth to cute babies. That's what that's what I call them. So that's what I think you want to keep in mind. If you ever thought about writing anything, it doesn't matter. It does not matter to me what it is. It can be something scary. Who's the author that writes all kinds of scary stuff? The man, I can't now his name won't come into my mind, but when I hear that he has a movie, I do not watch it. Let me just say that because I don't want to get scared. And I know if I watch his movies, I'm gonna be scared. But that's his. He knows his audience. He knows who he's writing to. He knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you. That's what all of us. When you're writing, I'm writing to that little child. That's who I'm writing to. I'm not writing to just anybody. Oh, that's who it is. I want to say Stephen King. Thank you. It's Stephen King. I can't watch that man's movies. I can't read his books. I cannot read it. I have actually had people say they cannot be in the house by themselves and read that book. Read a book by Stephen King. Think about that. They can't be at home alone and read a book by Stephen King. That's scary. That is scary. So but he knows his audience. He knows how the man is an excellent, writer. Then he has the movies that go along with the books, and it's just so much. But if you like that, then you like his writing. You like what he's writing. I wish if I knew how to write like he does. My goodness, I'm right. Mine is way toned down. It's to the little people. See, I'm writing to, that's my audience, the little ones that I know when they learn how to read and they're small like this, there's nothing they're not going to be able to do. When they're 2 and 3 and they're reading before they even start school, they're ahead going in. So that's the key. So that's why I think I like working with that age group. And thank you for that one, Bonnie. It is Stephen King. Thank you, thank you. I couldn't remember the man's name. I knew it, but I couldn't remember his name. I just know I can't watch it. But that may not be. Maybe you're a poet. I noticed as we're going through the anthology, there were quite a few poets. There are quite a few that they're writing poetry, and they're not writing for the they're writing for the one that people that like poetry. So that's their audience. They're not trying to scare you. They're not trying to do any of that. They want to. They're sharing. In essence, they're sharing their heart with you, and that's what they're sharing. So, what is it that if you listen? And some of you may say, "Well, I don't know what I want to write," and that's okay. Don't feel like you have to know, because as many of you know on my journey, this is what I will tell you. It found me. It found me, and it was due to many of you know the story. Some of you may or may not. My youngest brother passed away. 90 days later, my mother passed away. I was in a deep depression. Out of that depression, pushed this creativity out of me that I didn't know I had. But like someone told me, it was always there. Like it didn't just come out. It was there to begin with. But I will tell you this: to me, I'm not saying it wasn't, but it took pain to push it out. And I would hope for you it doesn't do that. But for me, I was in such pain till it was just unbearable. And out of it, I started writing. But the books I'm showing you, those are not the first books that I've written. Those are just some of the books, and I have a few more coming. And so I want to share those with you too. So a few more books will be coming out to share and say, you know what? I have a niece, I have a nephew, I have grandchildren. This lady, I might want to just see, what is interesting about her books for my kids. One thing you'll notice in all of my books, I try to be very, very colorful. Kids like color. They like you know, the whether it be the red elephant, which I'll use that one is right here. Because what is it? You see the yellows and the reds and the umbrella and the rain and all. But they love it. We like colors. Act when I work with these, I work with the illustrator every single picture, every single one. We work together. Isn't that interesting? We don't they don't work alone, I tell you, because I'm in it with them. It's not like that I give it to them and that's it. No, I want to know, I want to see. And when we work, it's so interesting because they'll send me a mock up and I'll look at it and I go, no, not quite, or I like this, or I don't like that. Every single picture. Think about that. And that's why it takes so long. So sometimes it can take 6 months to a year easily to do just one. If this, I think Red Elephant was definitely a year to do that one. Yeah, it was about a year. Some of them not so long. It just depends. Every single project, I take them one as they are, and I go from that one. I just finished a book. It's not into a, I mean, I finished the writing of the book, but the pictures are not even, we haven't started the pictures yet. But I just finished another one about a week ago. And I still have to sit down. Now I have to tell the illustrator, what do I want this book to look like on the inside? What is it? What pictures do I want? How do I? Because I'm creating it, even though they're drawing it, and then I give it. And if I can draw, even when because I'm not really an artist, but anything I can draw to help them come to what I'm looking for. Because one thing I've learned about illustrators too, they want to please you. They want to do the right. When you get it right and you tell them that's exactly what I want, they get happy too. They're like, oh, good, good, good. We got it right. So don't think that it's just a one. I write it and I ship it off to somebody and they do the. It's not like that. It is truly a collaborative effort. Every, in fact, everything that you've seen, every single book was a collaborative effort. on my part, and on when I'm working with the author and I'm working with the illustrators, working with, it's just, it doesn't stop. It goes on until the book ends. But we work together, and it is truly a team. It really is a team effort on how can we see this project through. So those of nobody said they're interested. Nobody said they're writing any books. You don't have anything. Maybe it's your life story. Boy, sometime I think if I write my life story, you guys would be like, no. And I can tell you some things. You still be, well, okay, this is what I do. I will tell you some of the things. Many of you probably don't know I was widowed at 35 with three sons. My husband had a massive heart attack, and literally overnight, it became the four of us, and that's another, you said trauma, but I look back and we made it through it. I didn't know that we would. I thought there were times I kept thinking this is hard, but what we did, we survived it. They're all, thank God, they're all alive. I say that because when you're raising boys in this society, not that when you're raising girls it doesn't, but I think boys more so. We're so worried about them. We really are. And this was before George Floyd or any of the movements that are out there now. And Elaine, you said, hello, Mary, I'm praying that I'm to write. God will help me get it done. You're right. You've made me actually think about the possibility. Yes, Elaine. Elaine, I promise you, if anybody can do it, Elaine, you can do it. So, and it's so good to see. It was so good to see you at the opening for the Civil Rights Institute too, and to see Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elaine. So just know that. But yes, and I tell you, we have stories that we don't. And as I'm telling you this, what am I telling you? I just said about think about 35 years old widow. That wasn't my what I thought life would be like. I had no idea this was what my life was going to be. Um, okay. I saw that Duma said, "What are the ABCs of writing a book?" Okay, I'm gonna tell you the ABCs of writing a book, Dumas. They are, you need three things. One, two, three. This is all you need, ladies. I'm giving you everything right now. You ready? You guys take out a pencil and paper, take out your phones, take out your iPhone, you need three things to write your book. You need a beginning, you need a middle, and you need an end. That's it. I know it sounds simple. You got to have those three things. You got to have a beginning, you got to have a middle, you got to have an end. Hi, Tasha. Hi, I see Tasha goes. Hi, Tasha. Doesn't that sound simple? And I'm saying that to you because you know what? We make this more complicated than it is. Now, I'm not trying to sound like, oh yeah, you can whip out a book just like that. I'm not trying to say that. But I will say this. If you've ever wanted to write a book, there's no time like the present. And I'm going to throw in my commercial here. This is the commercial. Many of you know my husband and I have the company Front Page Publishing. You can go to frontpagepublishing.com or you go to marydwelch.com. Either one of those domains, marydwelch.com or frontpagepublishing.com. You can sign up and I can actually take you through the classes of writing a book. And we just take, literally, it's 1 hour every 2 weeks. That's it. Now, I'm not trying to tell you it's going to be a Pulitzer Prize winning book, but I can tell you, you're going to be a lot further ahead. I have coaches. I say this too. I don't really talk about this a lot, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm opening up to you guys. Can I talk to y'all? And I'm going to tell you what a friend of mine said. And she's going to laugh when I say this. She'll say, and I'll say this to you guys. Can you guys keep a secret? So can I. No. I think that is the cutest thing. Anyway, but let me say this. Writing a book. You know why that's hard? I'm going to be honest with you. Because you make it hard. That's all. Think about all the things you've done in your life. Think about those, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's that you did it. This is one thing I always remind myself of when I get, like stressed out or whatever, and I don't understand something. I always go back to this one thought. Nobody came to this planet knowing how to do this. Nobody. So if they learn how to do it, guess what? You can learn how to do it too. And I keep reminding myself of that because sometimes we beat ourselves up and it looks like, oh, so and so is smarter, or they can do this, or they can do that. Nope. Tasha, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm telling you, there's nothing anyone else is doing that you cannot learn how to do. Now, I'll be honest. I'm not going to be an NBA player, and I'm not going to be an NFL player. I don't think that's going to happen. But I can write books. This is what I do. I've had to learn these lessons. I'm giving you guys lessons. And that is control your controllables. You know what that means? If I wanted to be an NBA player, is that likely? No. But is it likely that I can write children's books? I think that's more likely. Is it likely that if I wanted to go to school, I can do that? Is it likely? So I'm saying control your controllables. If you cannot control it, you're wasting your time. Control your controllables. If you want to write a book, I can show you how. It's like I just gave you the secret. The 3. I'm giving these are free. These are freebies. It's first Dumas said First Book Academy. Go ahead, Dumas. You go there, go to Front Page Publishing, which is that's why I teach. The teach is under First Book Academy. But thank you, Dumas. And when you go there, I should put it in the chat, huh? Oh, somebody said, oh my goodness. Hi, Pastor Weber. How are you? I mean, it's nice to think of you. Thank you for dropping in. It's nice to see you. Oh, Pastor Weber, tell your wife I said hi too. Hi. So those of you, and thank you for stopping by. Those of you that want to write, and you say this is what I heard. This is what I hear people say all the time. I just heard this yesterday. I have a book in my head. Think about this. I have a book in my head. You know what I told them? I didn't even hesitate. I said, you don't have a book. And they're like, what do you mean? It's in my head. I said, that means you don't have one. And I said, and they're looking at me like, no, I do have one. I said, no, you don't. If you haven't written it down, ladies and gentlemen, you have nothing. And I would say that again, because we have this misconception of this. And even when the gentleman said that, I just looked at him. I said, because think about this. If it's in your head, can I edit what's in your head? Nope. I can't edit that. I can only edit what you show me on paper. That's it. I need to see it to edit it. And if it's in your head, I can't see it. And then they got kind of upset with me, I think. But I said, you know what? I'm telling you this so you would write it down. I'm giving you guys keys to the kingdom on here. I'm telling you. And you can do this. When I hear people say they want to do it, all I keep thinking is, then do it. It's like, hi, cousin. This is my cousin from Jonestown, Mississippi. Hi there, Mary. So I'm telling you, ladies, gentlemen, if you want to know, go to Front Page Publishing. I tell you, go to marydwelch.com. You can leave a message in there. And I have an assistant. Her name is Jocelyn. She'll contact you. And I'm saying that because I don't want you to look up one day and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't do that. Don't do that. Who was it? Just passed away. Somebody young just passed away this past week. And I'm like, but I'm guilty of it too. I'm going to tell you guys, don't think I don't know. I'm guilty of it too. Thinking, oh, I got plenty of time. Do we know how much time we really got? Let's be honest. No. So why do we play like we do? Why do we play? Oh, I got time. I don't have to do that right now. I'll do it later. Please. People go to bed at night and don't wake up every day. And the truth of the matter is, then it's too late. It's too late. So now's the time. Now's the time. And I saw Pastor Weber says, I have 4. Don't get me started. All I saw was I have 4 books inside. Is that my inside my head? And maybe you can help me get them out. Send me your contact information. I need to get them on Pastor Weber. 4? Pastor Weber. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna put it in there. You can go to marydwelch.com. Then it's like the challenge is getting from the head to the paper, like Nikki says, just like Nike says. Sorry, that's it. Nike says, just do it. Gwen, now I know this is a beautiful mother, grandmother. I know you got some stories. I know you do. You know what? Just watching your grandchildren is a story. Any of you that say that you don't have a story, I hate to call you a liar, but you're lying. Because if you living, you got a story somewhere in you. It's something that has happened in your life. There's something funny that happened that you like, that was a cute story. And you know where it ends up? In the air, floating around somewhere. Put it on a piece of paper. The one I wrote, I still haven't published that book, by the way. The very first book I'd ever written is called The Cake Shook. I still haven't published that book, but I kept writing. I just kept writing. If I show you guys my notebooks full of books, you'll be like, no, that lady did not write all those books. I really did, though. I'm going to tell you, they're all mine. But you're right, just do it. And Mary said, thank you, Mary. And it's nice of you to come by. Isn't that nice? You're in Mississippi, I'm in California. Hi, cousin. So, I tell you, if it wasn't for my family, where would I be? Thank you, guys. Family and friends. Because you know what? If you're here, you're really all family. Let's just be honest. We're all family in here because I get to share my life with you. I get to share. Some of it's not all good. I can tell you for some of you, some of my stories. Every story not perfect. It really is not. But you know what it is? It's my story. You know about my husband. You know about our children and our grandchildren. I try to make sure you know. I don't be trying to hide it. Oh, I love you too, sweetheart. I tell you. I see you on Facebook doing your thing, Mary. So I would tell you, ladies, gentlemen, I'm stressing this because life, I've lived long enough. I say this long enough to know there is no such thing as perfect. Oh, okay, here we go. I was trying to put it, it's no comment section. I was trying to put it, I'll do this. I'll put it in the banner. That way you'll see it go across this. And it's let me create this. Nope, not that one. I tell you but I would encourage you, don't take this life lightly. I'm telling you what I've lived enough to know. It's Pastor Weber. I don't have to tell him either. He knows. He's in the ministry. He gets calls probably daily of people saying, that somebody passed away or whatever the case may be. And when I hear that, this is what I say to myself. I pray that, number one, that they did. I say that they knew the Lord. But I really pray that whatever it is that they were to do, that they did it. You can go to that web. Just Mary D. Welch will take you, www.marydwelch.com will take you to the site if you're interested in writing a book. And I say that because I want you to be interested. I know you guys like, I don't want it. I've heard people say, I'm not interested in that. I say, okay, that's fine. Then what are you interested in? Think about this. You don't have to do that. What would you like to do that you haven't done? That for some reason it's been sitting in your mind. It's just waiting there. It just you haven't either believed enough or thought let's say you want to act. Anybody here want an actress? An actor, actress? Is anybody here interested in that? Oh, you said amen. That's the pastor ever, amen. Well, I'll tell you, and I say that to you, let's say you want to act. What are you doing? And honestly, this is what I had to learn too. Just so, ladies, gentlemen, is that the steps, they must be baby steps. It took me a long time to understand all these things. The steps are not gigantic steps. You know how we see people, they call it the overnight success? I was Steve Harvey. I think he said he literally, basically, almost starved for 20 years before we knew him as who we know as Steve Harvey today. For think about 20 years. I've heard is a minimum of 10 before you actually hit success. The absolute minimum where you learn what you need to know and you get the lessons. 10 years. Most people do not want to go through those 10 years. They don't. They don't want to go through a lack of whatever, whether comfort, food, whatever the case may be, money. And they don't, but as we know that Steve Harvey, we know today, he was without all those things. He was homeless. So was Tyler Perry. They have the, I mean, so was Kevin Hart. I can name, and these are the ones we know as who we know. But I say that to say, I'm like, I wouldn't want you to have to go through that. But I'm saying that you don't have, most of you here, I would think that's not the case. You are probably at home or on your phone, whatever electronic device you have, or iPad or whatever, and your comforts are taken care of, or to a certain extent. So that's not the case for you. So that's a good thing, and I'm happy for you for that. But what dream do you have for yourself? I'm not saying you have to be any of those people, but maybe it's maybe you draw and you've always wanted to do it, but you just never did. Maybe it's play a musical instrument. You always wanted to do it, but you said, "Oh, I got time for that." What is it in you? Like one of mine, I still haven't done it, I still have to do that, and that is piano. Is to learn to play the piano. I've always loved that. The piano. I just love just the music. We were able to see this weekend. We went to see Pivo Bryson and Olita Adams in Cerritos. To see people in their love, not their craft. I'm gonna be honest, in their love. That's what you're really seeing when you're seeing an artist. They're in their love. They get to do for you what they would do for free. And to see someone, it just touches your heart. It touches my heart. I was almost in tears watching these two people. They weren't the only ones. The Fifth Dimension and another lady, I think it's Taylor Dane. And they were at the Cerritos Performing Arts Center. But to watch them love what they were doing, I'm getting choked up just knowing they spent their lives and they get to do what they love. She even said that. Alita, I was like, I'm honored to be able to perform. This is what her story is she was playing the piano in a piano bar, I think it was in St. Louis. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And that's where she was. So think about this. She was doing that, playing in a piano bar. Nothing wrong with playing in a piano bar, but we would never have known her. She had to be discovered. But had she not been playing in that piano bar, she may never have been discovered. That's what I always say too. Many of you know the story of J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, what we know as Harry Potter. Thank you, Pastor. Harry Potter said, her story, she used J.K. because she wanted to be thought. She wanted people to think she was a male writer. That's number one. But her manuscript was in the rejection pile. Think about that. For those of you that don't know her story, the reason I like her story is because the manuscript had to be in the rejection pile to get found. If it wasn't there, we may never know what we know today as Harry Potter. I think about these stories all the time because whatever it is, I'm gonna use another one. These guys use my analogies. When Idris Elba, I remember when Idris Elba first. Those of you not familiar with his first acting in the United States was The Wire. The night I saw Idris, I'll never forget it because Oliver still remembers that today. Here it is. We're watching The Wire. I went ballistic. I kept saying, I don't know who he is. I don't know the man's name. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. I said, but that man can act. I didn't even know who Idris Elba was. That's who he was. But I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know. But his acting was so way up here. But had he not done The Wire, and that was beneath him acting-wise. It wasn't like that was the role he wanted. It was a role he took to get himself in the door. And I'm saying to you, whatever it is, mine is writing. And I'm going to be honest, I thank God the day I retired from education. Not that education is bad, But I did not know I could write until I retired from education. Isn't that interesting? I didn't write when I was my own children, my own. They have said to me, "Where is this coming from? We've our entire life you have never to one not one thing that they ever know that I've written. Think about this. And my oldest the oldest son is 40, no 42. I'm sorry, the oldest one's 42, and then it's 40 and 38. And they go, "Where is this from? Where has this been all your life?" And I said, guys, I don't know, but because I didn't give myself permission, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't. I had written poetry in high school, but I'd written like two, I think. That was it, just two poems. But I didn't go forth with it because you know why? I'm gonna be honest. I tell you the truth. I didn't think you can make money, and I said I can't get. I don't want to do something where I'm gonna be poor and be broke or something. So I did not pursue it. I didn't. I wanted a guarantee. I wanted to know my bills are gonna get paid, and we're gonna be able to live a decent lifestyle. I'm not gonna be out here and trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay my bill. That I don't want to live like that. I had this conversation with one of my sons earlier today, and he said, "You know what, Mom? You don't realize it, but you shortchanged yourself." I said, "You're right," because he said, "You don't know who you could have been today had you kept writing." He said, "You're right, son. You're absolutely right." And I'm sharing this with you so that whoever it is that you are, don't shortchange yourself by not becoming that person, by not being who you were meant to be. When I write now, there's a love that I gave myself. I retired after over 30 years teaching. My principal tried to talk me out. When I tell you tried to talk me out of it, they tried to talk me out of it. But once I prayed about it and I knew God was with me, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I retired. I had never written anything other than those poems in high school. As far as I'd never written a book ever in my life. So I retired, and then 90 days. I'm not sorry. 9 months after I retired, when my youngest brother had the brain aneurysm, and he subsequently passed away from that. Then 90 days to the day, from the day my brother passed away, 90 days later, my mother passed away. When those two things happened in my life, the pain of it was so excruciating. My family thought they were going to lose me. So the thought, it was like, it really, I was grasping for life. I was at the point. This was after I retired. Think about it. I had already retired from education. So I'm thinking I retired and me and my husband are going to travel, whatever we're going to do. I really didn't know what it was we were going to do. I tried painting. That didn't work. I tried gardening. That really wasn't it. I didn't fall in love with that either. I mean, I can grow some tomatoes, but that's about it. And I was trying all kinds of things. I didn't really know what I had retired for, but I knew it was something, because the one thing that God had told me before I even retired, when I was afraid to retire, and he said these two words to change my life: trust me. Trust me. And I was like, Lord, I'm scared. I didn't prepare for this. I'm not ready for this. I was scared to do it. But to be honest with you, I was more afraid not to do it. Think about that. I was afraid to do it and scared, but I was more afraid if I stayed. Now I felt like something could happen to me because I did not trust God. I did not truly. This is what I learned too. We say we trust God. We say that we get at, as the kids say, we bump those gums. But when you have to step out and you don't know if you're gonna step on land or quicksand, it's a whole nother world when you're stepping out. Let me just say that, instead of you just quietly saying, "Yeah, I trust God." So when I said it, I was scared. But I remember I literally felt like I was shaking. But I said, Lord, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. And those two words, trust me. And I would say for all of you or any of you, whatever it is, and it doesn't matter what it is, what the it is for you may not be what the it is for me. Remember, that's why we have fingerprints. We all got there. We all made uniquely. But whatever that is, do it. As my cousin said, just do it. And if it's acting, if it's, I don't care what it is. It's like I said, mine is writing. It's writing. I've learned how to write movie scripts. So look out, world. Now I can write a movie script. I'm like, oh my goodness. That probably was for me. It wasn't the books. That was really important too. But knowing that I can write and going into the realm of the entertainment industry, that's another industry that I'm just like, wow. I've always been fascinated with it, but I never would. I always kind of like, oh, let me think about that kind of thing. But that's another industry that I'm going in, and I have no idea what the. You guys may see me up there getting an Oscar. Who knows? This is what I always say. Somebody have to get that Oscar. That's what. So you never know. You guys gonna. I watched Mary on the Mary D talk show, and here she is getting an Oscar. Wouldn't that be something? We can look back on this and go, I cannot believe this. But I will tell you this, ladies, gentlemen, believe me when I tell you that there's nothing other than the love of God that makes me smile. I will tell anybody, than to know that God has blessed me, that this gift, I had to make room for it. That's what I didn't understand. It wasn't that my job was bad. It was not. It was not. By the way, it was a beautiful job. I love my kids, but I knew in my heart there was something else I was supposed to do. The thing of it was, I didn't know what it was. Think about that. Even when I talked to my principal, when I went to her and told her I was retiring and everything. Now I'm at the door to her office. I'll tell you guys some stories, but that's one thing in my life. They say I got nothing. Stories, stories, stories. This is a true story. I always say that. This is a true story. I'm at the door to her office because she had asked me. She says, "Mary, what are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't know." The lady fell back in the chair. She was like, "What?" She said, "You're going to leave a good job. You have good benefits." She's giving me the rundown, and I'm sitting here going, I know all this, but my mama taught me better than that. I let the lady say what she had to say. Then I sit there and I'm thinking, I know these things, but then I get up from the chair. I'm at the door. Think about this. Trying to leave the office now. And she stands up from her desk and she says, "Mary." And she said, I know she spoke loudly because the secretaries turned around. That's how I knew she was speaking loud. Yeah. And she said, "What if you do all of this?" I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. She said, "What if you leave, you retire and you go out here since you don't know what you want to do? What if you do all of that and you find nothing?" Oh my God. I'll never forget that. And I turned to her slowly and I said, "At least I will know." Think about this. What she was saying to me, you're giving all of this up for an unknown, for nothing. It could be nothing that you find. And I said, one day I'm leaving this planet. If I stay here, I may never know what I could have done. And if I go and find nothing, then I will always know I tried. I will always know that whatever I was looking for, whether I find it or not, I tried. And that's what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to leave a job. Number one, I would not tell anybody to leave their job. Don't leave a job. But at least try to find out what it is if you're looking for something. Now, you may not be looking for anything. Let me tell you that too. You may say, well, you know what? Everything's all good in my world, everything. But I knew inside of me, I knew. Remember, I didn't start writing when my brother passed away. So 90 days later, 9 months later, my brother passed away. 90 days later after that, my mother passed away. I still did not write, by the way. I didn't start writing until about a year after they passed, which would have been 2 years after I left. So I left not knowing anything. 2 years after I retired, then I found out. And I'm about to almost cry. I have books in me. But I didn't understand. I could not find it until I made room for it to come out. And then this is what my principal actually said this to me. She said, "Why don't you figure it out while you're here, whatever it is, because we still didn't know what it was." And I said, "I would if I could." I remember telling her that. If it was that simple, don't you think I would have felt it? I would have figured that out. I said, I can't. I can't do it both ways. If I could, I would. And she got quiet and I got quiet. But I'll tell you that day when I was at that door and she said, "What if you find nothing?" And even when she said it, all I kept thinking was, you got to try, Mary. You got to try. Every single day we live is a gift. Everybody, as my father used to say, nobody is getting off this planet alive, Mary. Nobody. That's it. It's ordained. We are born here and we're to die here. And that is it. And trying to get to another planet, you're going to die before you get there. That's and I don't have to talk to Pastor Weber about that. So what you do with that time is they say, what do you do with that dash? That's all up to you. There's nobody else. It's up to you. Good and bad. Good and bad. And do something that touches your heart. Because my husband teases me. He said, "You don't get out of the bed in the morning. You jump out of the bed in the morning." Because I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I got a chance to do this. That no matter what, if I were to leave here today or tomorrow, not that I'm trying to leave, by the way, because I'm not, but I will know that I was able to leave something for my children and my grandchildren. Right now, the oldest son has written a book. I have a nephew, he's written a book. One of my first cousins has written a book. So it's been a rippling effect. Our granddaughter has written a book. You cannot tell me. They all wrote after my books, by the way. So what has that one act did? It's affected our entire family. Our entire family has been affected by this. So your act of showing whatever it is, it can be gardening, it can be sewing, it can be playing a music instrument, it can be whatever that it can be, as I mentioned, acting, whatever the case may be. There's so many things that you can do. Maybe you make jewelry. Doesn't matter what the thing is. But when you love it and you're showing it that love, don't think people don't feel that. Because they do. They feel it too. They feel it too. So just know it's easier said than done. Everything I'm saying to you is easy to say these things, but to do them, and as I said before, don't give up your job. Let me say that. I don't want anybody saying Mary's running around here telling people don't give up your job. Don't. What is that, Pastor Weber? You said, what did you say? You said, our struggles and mistakes in life are filled with hidden treasures. Tell your story. Write that book and help someone else. Tell it, Pastor. That's what you do because you are. Think about, as I said, all the just our family. Our family has been tremendously affected by the fact that I wrote. One. Think about this. One book has changed the lives of. I'm gonna say I think we have like six authors in our family since I published the very first book. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's gardening. I keep saying I'm gonna go back to gardening. I haven't done it yet, but I do want to grow my tomatoes. I still want to grow those. But I still say I'm gonna go back and do. Other than that, not that. But I don't want you to think that that's all I do. But I'm looking now. We're down to 1 minute. Can you believe I talked for this entire time? But I love you all. I will be back next week. God bless you. Thank you. Your support means more than you could ever know. Every time you show up, I'm honored to have you here at the Mary D Talk Show. God bless each and every one of you. I know I was kind of like all over the place today, but that's because I love you. And I want you to find that thing in your heart. Find that thing. Oh, God bless you too. God bless you too, Pastor. We got to get those 4 books out though. We got so take care, everyone. I'll see you on Monday. I think that's the 14th. I think it's the 14th. All right. Take care now. Bye, everybody. Oh.